Thank you for that, Philip. There's really nothing that captures the excitement and outrageousness of Canada more than a goat falling asleep at a Tim Hortons at 4 a.m. in Saskatchewan. I think we've put that one to bed. Mr. Proops. This one's tough. Yeah, there's one. Damn. I just thought the letter was funny. We don't have to play the whole thing. This is from Dustin in Pleasanton, Texas. San Antonio, not Livermore adjacent. Livermore is near Pleasanton in the Bay Area where I'm from. Mr. Proops, yes, Dustin. The problem with Tom Waits... That's why I like the letter. I was looking through my emails, and it was Mr. Proops. The problem with Tom Waits... To be honest, and you guys probably listen to the show more than I do, I don't remember mentioning Tom Waits. If I have, but I don't remember mentioning him. I've never seen Tom Waits, although I'd like to. And I understand Black Rider is supposed to be magnificent. My wife met him once at City Lights Books, and he was sober then. But he wasn't sober for a long time. And I did a video, a commercial once with a guy who had directed Rain Dogs, which was a Tom Waits movie that he did that was quite good. And I don't know if you're a fan or not. I mean, I think with Tom Waits, it's either... you know the last time we talked about Tom Waits was probably 3 or 4 years ago in Halifax when it was fuckable and unfuckable bands. And someone said Tom Waits was fuckable, and I was like, hey, that's your call. It's like saying Willie Nelson is fuckable. There's a certain kind of person, you know what I mean? We all have our moments. But I'm a fan of Tom Waits. Wasting all the when can you me? I especially like the 70s stuff. I know. For him, it's probably torture because he's sober now and has been prodigious. He wrote a triple album or double album a couple years ago. Like, he's really been sensational. And, of course, he wrote that brilliant song that the Eagles covered called Old 55, right? The sun's coming up. It was here, start the first one, sort of, because it takes a while. There we go. Turn that one down a little bit. The problem with Tom Waits is like when you're learning to drive in the first time on a column shift Dodge from the 60s. When you put it into third gear, you just hear this pop, clang, clang, drag, and you look at your dad sitting next to you on the bench seat and ask if it's supposed to do that, and he says, no, son, it's not. So when you finally get the goddamn thing towed back to the house with a rope, you can pull the broken drive shaft out and fix it in the driveway without the benefit of a proper bench press for the U-joint, and instead use a ball-peen hammer and a cinder block instead. Afterwards, you're left with a handful of broken needle bearings and wasted time. You're like, what the fuck am I going to do with that? And toss it away and wipe the grease on your shirt, and you go to a diner where you meet a traveling Bible salesman, but you have no money for a Bible because you just bought a soda water, so he takes your shirt instead. I find Tom Waits like that. Trading the new word for the greasy stains of the life marked by the shrapnel of existence. Here, crank that up for a second. Gamblers real value along the dotted line. You'll never recognize yourself for heart attack and vine. Dr. Lord, beggar man thief. Remarkable darling disbelief. If you wanna taste the madness, have to wait in line. Probably see someone you know on heart attack and vine. Born his house, China white, Shredder's got a punk. But you know down there no devil. It's just God when he's drunk. Well, this stuff will probably kill you. Let's do another line. But you say you meet me down to heart attack and vine. This is why I can't stand Tom Waits and listen to as much goddamn techno music as I possibly can to keep the screaming naked id at bay to the march of the sounds of copulating kitchen appliances. Can we turn it down for a second? I do not recall the podcast you mentioned, Mr. Waits, but I'm sure you don't either. So at least we're at a mutual agreement on that point. Will you spin the next one? Will you start the next one? This one's a lot less gritty than the other one. This one's much more beautiful. And then, oh my God, the PS is... this guy's letter is too good. Dear NASA, Greg says I should say hello to the NASA when I write him. Of course, I said it was the NSA. But this guy's taking the fucking bit in his teeth. I did have a chance to visit your New Mexico Museum of Space History in Alamogordo last summer and wanted to thank you for the chance to see the Nazi V-2 rocket we appropriated and crashed in 1947. It was so considerate that you have it on static display in front of the museum along with the rest of our used space junk, and that one does not even have to pay admission to see it. I was quite surprised it would be so proudly displayed and has yet to be the only truth in advertising I have personally witnessed from our government. I did, however, pay the admission for the museum. It's going still. If nothing else, for a chance to visit the gift shop and see if you had any more of that freeze-dried Neapolitan ice cream like I got when I was a kid at the Johnson Space Center in 1987. I was not disappointed as you still have it for sale, although I'm pretty sure it's the same goddamn ice cream from almost 30 years ago. Neapolitan, really? You're going to send people into space and give them the shittiest, most schizophrenic flavor in the history of ever? I am quite sure this flavor came into existence because some committee could not come to a consensus. So in this regard, I'm glad you're staying true to your roots. Lesser regards, Dustin. Thank you for that, Dustin. It's a terrific letter. Turn it up a little bit here. This is just sentiment. I don't know why. This one always makes me cry. Turn it up really loud. Come on, sing Matilda with me. Now the dogs are barking and the taxi cab's parking. A lot they can do for me. I beg you to stab me. I beg you to stab me. And I'm down on my knees tonight. Old Bushmills, I staggered. Oh. You buried the dagger. Your silhouette window light. He's right, it is kind of like what he said. To go waltzing Matilda. Waltzing Matilda. Come on, sing Matilda with me. No, I lost my St. Christopher. He's all right. We'll be at the Nerd Melt on the 29th of October